and in doing so, Moore holds his breath. Callum Wilson scores. Maximum, Wilson's there now. He has scored again. The celebrations have been cut short. Burnley are consigned to the Championship after a 6-year stay.
Burnley Football Club, which relegated to the Championship in 2022, returns to the English Premier League on April 25. The rescheduled match of the 38th round of the Championships between Burnley and Blackburn took place. The team of Vincent KOMPANY won a minimal victory on the road and guaranteed themselves the championship. Today we would like to evaluate and analyze the coach's contribution to this success. In this video, we'll look at how Pep Guardiola's pupil has created a dominant team in Championship. A 2-1 win over Middlesbrough secured the team's return to the Premier League 7 rounds before the end of the season.
Celebrations out in the middle. What an achievement! Well done to Vincent KOMPANY and his staff.
Cake at the training ground is not to be expected either. When players brought in a cake for Jack Cork's birthday during pre-season, which was a common occurrence under Sean Dyche, KOMPANY banned it. Cakes have no place on the training ground. It was at the start of a journey few would have thought possible when Burnley were relegated to the Championship last May. Relegation equaled uncertainty. 7 players ran out of contract and eventually 13 players left the team. They had no permanent coach, with Mike Jackson as acting coach, and required a significant repayment of the £65 million loan taken out by ALK Capital when they bought the club in December 2020. Outside observers were giving apocalyptic predictions about the future of the team. The mood inside the club was different. There was devastation at first, but it provided an opportunity to rebuild and reshape a squad that was in desperate need of renewal. The way that despair was transformed into dominance in the Championship was incredible. KOMPANY is 36 years old and he has planned a complete rebranding of Burnley, replacing the team's defensive style of play with long throws of the ball with a combinational, possession-based game, with which his side have rolled across the Championship. He's a magician, said one club source. Here's how KOMPANY brought Burnley back to elite soccer. While Jackson was in charge of his first game against West Ham, the Burnley management were planning to fly to Europe next week to talk to candidates for the permanent head coach position. They were determined to steer an aging team playing in a primitive style in a new direction with a young, ambitious coach who excelled at working with youth and knew how to develop them. KOMPANY was on the final 3-man shortlist, which also included Kjetil Knudsen from Bud Glimt. The main question was whether the candidates would still take the job if Burnley were relegated. Assurances were sought privately that the applicants were open to both scenarios. KOMPANY was still Anderlecht's coach, but when he parted ways with the Belgian side at the end of May, Burnley's pursuit of him accelerated. The former Manchester City captain was aware of the financial constraints, while ALK Capital was betting on a young coach with little familiarity with the Championships, who was tasked with assembling a new squad. Negotiations were open and transparent. Solidarity payments from the APL would go towards paying off the debt. Players would be sold. The wage bill would be reduced and the money from sales would be reinvested. KOMPANY was already aware of his transfer plans as he spent time evaluating player profiles and watching video clips of the players he was preparing to inherit. At first, KOMPANY went to meet with his staff. The next day, he addressed his players, delivering a powerful 12-minute speech that outlined his vision and core values of unity and hard work. He was grateful for the legacy Dyche left behind. The poster "A legs, hearts, minds" instilled, still remains at the entrance to the practice facility. The shabby team he inherited had only 8 eligible senior outfielders. Proper selection was crucial and, come to think of it, The summer transfer window could have gone much better. Burnley's summer new players: Scott Twine, transfer from Milton Keynes Dons; Luke McNally, transfer from Oxford United; CJ Egan Riley, transfer from Manchester City; Taylor Harwood-Bellis, loan from Manchester City; Samuel Baston, transfer from Standard; Josh Cullen, transfer from Anderlecht; Ian Mitson, loan from Chelsea; Eri Marik, transfer from Manchester City; Vidno, transfer from Brugge; Manuel Benson, transfer from Antwerp; Nathan Tella, loan from Southampton; Darko Cherlinov, transfer from Stuttgart; Dennis Franke, transfer from Paris Saint-Germain; Anis Zuri, transfer from Charleroi; Halil Dervisoglu, loan from Brentford; Jordan Bayer, loan from Borussia Mönchengladbach. First, a decision had to be made on the departing players. The sale of Nick Pope and Maxwell Cornet to Newcastle and West Ham respectively was expected and provided the funding. There were initial doubts within the management and coaching staff about the future of Nathan Collins and White McNeil, but as both players wanted to return to the Premier League, Burnley profited from their sale, receiving over £20 million for each transfer. In total, they spent around £25 million and made around £70 million. Burnley's summer player sales: Ben Mee, end of contract, to Brentford; James Tarkowski, end of contract, to Everton; Dale Stephens, end of contract, finished his career; Phil Bardsley, end of contract, to Stockport; Eric Peters, end of contract, to West Bromwich; Aaron Lennon, end of contract, finished his career; Tej Vidra, end of contract, to Victoria Pleasant; Nick Pope, transfer to Newcastle; Wayne Hennessy, transfer, Nottingham Forest; Dwight McNeil, transfer, Everton; Nathan Collins, transfer, Wolverhampton; Maxwell Cornet, transfer, to West Ham; Wout Weghorst, loan, to Besiktas, Manchester United. The list was narrowed down to the top targets that best fit the profile Kompany wants: young players who can be athletic, teachable, have a good work ethic and a willingness to improve. Kompany knew attacking midfielder Anis Zuri from coaching in Belgium, and the selection department had marked him down. Burnley were keeping tabs on central defender Jordan Bayer back under Dyche. Kompany then allowed the higher functionaries to get to work on the deals. Burnley always had several options to change direction if the price became too high. When they had to turn down the transfer of Faith Sakel from Rangers because of the price, they quickly rented Nathan Tell from Southampton, who was a revelation with 19 goals, although he had only scored 2 in his entire career before that. Perhaps the most important signing was a player familiar to Kompany. Josh Cullen spent 2 seasons working under him at Anderlecht and turned down offers from La Liga and the Bundesliga to return to him. The Irish national team player played a crucial role in the early weeks. With his extensive knowledge of the Belgian coach's system, he helped others understand what was being asked of them. Leading by example, he dictated the tempo and controlled the game from the center of the pitch. Kompany is not interested in players complaining to him about not playing. The challenge for everyone is the same: to prove to him why they should start matches in the starting lineup. He emphasizes that this is a team game. The famous Burnley locker room culture that was in place under Dyche remains under Kompany. It is self-regulated with a leadership group set up with Captain Jack Cork, Vice-Captain Josh Brownhill, Cullen, Ashley Barnes and Ashley Westwood before his departure in January. Players describe it as a family. There are no factions. It's a united team. The players play darts and textball regularly. Team bonding events were organized at the beginning of the year, and before that, the staff held a Christmas party on the practice field to which close family members, wives, girlfriends and children, were invited, complete with Santa Claus and reindeer.